Okay. When I saw this video, when I came across it, I was extremely shocked. I go to this VA. I go to this VA. I know. I haven't looked closely at the video because, I mean, you see how grainy it kind of is and everything. At this particular time when this incident happened, I mean, it only came out in February of 2021. But when this incident happened, I was going to the VA a lot. I had multiple surgeries. At this particular time, I was in a wheelchair, of going to the VA during this particular time frame. I know some of these officers. The friend who lives here, who's been my caretaker during the time of me going through surgeries and stuff and having to go to the VA and everything else, baked a pie for these guys. Couple of pies, actually. Because they were always so nice. They were always so great. I mean, there were times where I refused to use my walker or whatever at the time of going through recovery and stuff. And I mean, they're literally yelling at me, hey, get him a damn wheelchair, right? You know damn well you're not supposed to be walking, because they knew me. We knew these guys. As I said, I think I know this officer. I'm trying to remember if, my friend, she's, knocked out in her room. She's got to go to work in a few hours. But I know, when I posted it and I sent it to her, she was like, I know we know these guys. I mean, they're not there anymore. Well, some of them might still be there. But as I said, we haven't looked because it's real grainy. I mean, I could probably zoom in, but it still would be, I'm not sure how, much I could actually really, come on, what is going on? Okay. See, I mean, it's still grainy, no matter how much I really zoom in. So I have no idea, but it was pretty much the same officers. And I was there a lot because even the volunteers that would sit at the desk over here, they would even be, they'd be like, hey, you're here all the time. Why don't you just volunteer? You're here so much. Why don't you just volunteer and just be here? Because you're here like almost every day. You should just be here. I mean, that was always a standing joke every time I would go. Now I'm mostly outsourced, but I still have some doctors there that I got to go see. And it's so strange. I was there at the VA a ton during this time. So to see that this happened, Vietnam vet beaten by police in unprovoked assault at VA hospital. It has 879,000 views since it was published in February of this year. Institute for Justice. When I saw this, I mean, some of my friends were like, yeah, man, we're not surprised. And I'm like, we are. We were at the VA during this time. We were there like a couple of times a week. So to see this, it's just baffling. It's just, I'm dumbfounded on this happening. As I said, we made pies for them, like to be thankful, because they were always great. I mean, people were like, man, you must be here a lot. It's like everybody here knows you. And I'm like, yeah, it's like I'm here a lot. I don't understand. I can't understand why they did what they did. It's getting choked, forced to the ground. It just...
Jose Oliva is a 75-year-old El Paso Texan who served his country in the Vietnam War and then spent a career in state and federal law enforcement.
Look at that.
The rest of my career was in law enforcement. I got promoted and got picked up as a special agent. I carry a weapon and a badge, and I completed my 25 years of government service.
He was a freaking inspector. The dude is, oh my God. Just Vietnam veteran, served his country in freaking Vietnam with distinction, and was also in law enforcement.
I'm done. I retired.
In February of 2016, Jose had a
2016, February 2016. Again, I was at the VA a lot during this time. I knew those officers. It was pretty much always the same guys and one girl. Cute little thing too.
scheduled dental appointment at his local VA hospital in El Paso, Texas. That day, he got in line like he had many times before. He placed his belongings in a bin to be x-rayed and was proceeding toward a metal detector.
Just a normal day for me and a bunch of other veterans. Got in line. I emptied my pockets of my personal belongings.
When one of the VA police officers asked him where his ID was, Jose explained that it was in the bin.
One of those guards, he said, "Show me your ID." And I responded to him, "My ID is in the bin." He didn't like that answer. He asked me again, "Show me your ID." And my response to him was, "It's in the bin." With my left index finger pointing to the bin. Well, that did it. He was reaching to the back of his duty belt. He went to his handcuff pouch and he pulled them out. I just had the worst feeling in my throat that something bad was about to happen.
The VA police officer then came around the security checkpoint and pointed for Jose to go through the metal detector.
As soon as I crossed the metal detector, the big guy pulled my arm as high as he could, and I heard a pop on my shoulder. Then he pulled my arm from the top to the back of the small of my back, and I heard another pop from the left shoulder, and they blew my eardrum. Somebody picked me up and put the handcuffs on me, dragged me to an office. The whole shoulder area, including the rotator cuff, was shot. Within a week, I was under the operating. They cut about a 2-inch incision from about here to almost the top of the bone joint.
If your constitutional rights are violated by a federal worker, the only avenue for accountability is through a doctrine called Bivens.
Bivens against 6 unknown agents.
Bivens refers to a U.S. Supreme Court case decided in 1971. In that case, Webster brought direct claims under the Fourth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution against the agents, and the U.S. Supreme Court allowed those claims to go forward. The Fifth Circuit created a very strange situation in this case because one of the reasons that they said Jose couldn't bring claims under Bivens is that what happened to him is actually worse than what happened to Webster Bivens. The court said because Jose was choke-slammed to the floor in a VA hospital instead of just being handcuffed in front of his family in his apartment, that this is a new case and therefore Jose can't bring claims against these federal police. IJ is standing with Jose Oliva in this case to ensure that regardless of where, when, or who violates your Fourth Amendment rights, you can go to court and do something about it. Jose's case is the most recent case in IJ's project on immunity and accountability, which is aimed at getting rid of all the special protections that shield government officials.
I agree. I completely agree. As I said, I mean, seeing the video is absolutely disgusting because, again, we knew those officers. Maybe not by name, but always because we were there all the time. And I it's disgusting. It's sickening that they get, I mean, the other two videos where one was settled out of court, the other one was $75,000, but apparently with federal, they get special privileges to basically beat your ass. This is the type of shit I have a problem with when it comes to police officers, lawyers, judges, congressmen, senators, even presidents, and their sons, Hunter Biden. It's beyond. No, regular citizens, we don't get that protection. We don't get any kind of protection like that. Why should you? Because you have a badge, because you're buddies, you play golf with the judge. I truly do not understand these kind of things.
State, local, and federal, from accountability when they violate individual rights.
What they did to me was wrong, violated my constitutional rights. I am fighting not only on my personal behalf, but on behalf of every single veteran, especially my brothers and sisters who served with me in the jungles of Vietnam.
And I've been saying this in so many of my videos. If regular people have to follow the law, the government should also follow you don't get special protection. You're not supposed to. I've never believed in diplomatic immunity either. I don't understand why we need to fix stupid shit like this. I know that I do not. I actually was joining the police department. I have still my paperwork from all my testing and everything else. I have my paperwork. I kept it. I was going to join the police department. One of my friends who was a cop at the time, he's retired as far as being a police officer. He's acting now. Great. But he was there and he told me, he goes, Mark, you don't have the temperament to be a police officer. And he's right. I don't have the temperament for that because I don't have the patience for stupidity. If I pull you over and you are doing because you did something stupid. I'm sorry. I'm not going to give you a break. You did something stupid. There are enough dumbasses in El Paso to pull over. Just driving around. I'm going to start posting even my dash cam videos. There's enough dumb shit in El Paso everywhere that you can make quota, even though they say that doesn't exist. There's enough dumb shit in El Paso to make quota in one day in this town, because that's how many dumbasses there are on the road here. These fuckers can't drive worth a shit. So there's more than enough to do your job as a police officer. You do not need to do dumb shit. And there's no sound, but you can see the video of where him pointing at the bin. My ID's in the bin. Why the officer just has to have a bad day because of that. All the officer needed to say was, well, we can't touch it, so would you mind getting your ID out so we could see it? That's all the officer literally needs to do. It's like, that is your property, and it's in a wallet, literally enclosed, so would you mind, that's all the officer had to do. Would you mind getting it out so that way I could see it? That's it. It literally is it. But these officers with bad attitudes, I just do not understand. It baffles the mind of them having a bad day and just taking it out on a regular citizen. I can understand if it's a violent crime or domestic, a domestic, call, I can understand something, but just pulling over for a speeding ticket, you got to be a dick. Pulling over for a broken light, a tail light, you got to be a dick. With the first other videos of the guy just parked on the side of the road and now you're harassed. Now you literally have multiple officers, the captain and the chief show up just because of your one officer's suspicion. I truly do not understand the attitude of police officers doing the dumb shit that they do. It just does not make any sense. But I'm going to go ahead and get into the next video. As I said, I'm trying to empty all this out. This video was just for this. I didn't want to tack on another one. I just wanted this one to be called out. To the veteran that this happened to, I'm sorry. I don't, and hopefully everybody else that sees this video and follows the other channel and everything else, Institute for Justice, like, subscribe to their channel as well. I mean, thank you for helping this veteran out, because these officers need to be brought to justice. They really do. Anyway, let me go ahead and see what next video I'm going to go ahead and post. Peace out.